It quite simply is the most wonderful time of the year. Not only are we going to be getting Foot Freeze Friday, but we are likely going to see icon swaps, and yes, prime icon moments.
What?
The best cards in the game, where packing one will just make you wanna... So in this video, we are going to go over everything you need to know market-wise, content-wise, all that good stuff. If you guys do enjoy today's video, make sure you guys drop a thumbs up, and of course if you're enjoying the daily FIFA 22 market videos, make sure to subscribe so you never miss out on any videos from me. So let's start off with what to expect in this promo, and of course if you want to skip through the video, chapters will already be set. But I want to talk about what's going to come out with icon swaps and what to expect Friday, because last year we got Foot Freeze and icon swaps at the same time, and this year it looks like it's going to be very likely, and it also looks like primes will be coming too. And yes, prime icons did come out with Foot Freeze on Friday, December 11th last year. So as I'm saying, we are likely going to see all of this come out on the same day. So what actually is icon swaps? Because I've actually seen there's a lot of new people in Ultimate Team now this year. Icon swaps is essentially just a bunch of objectives that you guys can do and complete to get these tokens, which you can then put into rewards for either icons, packs, icon packs, or whatever it might be that they decide to include this year. Now they are really unique and really fun. Last year we got these icons in the first icon swaps, Thierry Henry, Rijkaard, Koeman, Suker, Haji, and Vidic. Now personally I thought this was a really poor selection. Really the only one that was really worth it, I guess, was Koeman. But the packs ended up being much better. There's the 83 plus 25 player pack, the two ultimate packs, the icon packs as well were probably much better as well. But they do break it up so you can only get half of the rewards at first. Obviously those are the worst rewards. And then there's like a second month where you can get the better ones by completing the second half of objectives. So the objectives are pretty easy and straightforward to do. Now I highly recommend you pay attention to it, especially if you're trading, because we see the same kind of trend every year with these icon swaps cards. So the first objectives were basically squad battle ones, and what you had to do was win on world class with 11 silver players, 11 UCL players, which we do not have UCL players in FIFA 22 as of right now. Win with Liga NOS players, win with French players, and then win with a first owned player squad. Now keep an eye on some of those lower leagues, guys. I think those are very big because we saw last year when this came out, Liga NOS cards all flew up in price. Now we obviously don't know what the objectives are right now, but I'm willing to bet that it could be a player that did get in Foundations SBC. It really wouldn't surprise me if we see Liga NOS, Eredivisie, and then the other one that we got as well, I forget what it even was, the championship. It wouldn't surprise me to see those kind of cards get put into the objectives as well for squad battles, just because we already have some of those players, and it wouldn't hurt to invest in some links, maybe picking up one of each or something, club stocking from each of the leagues. I think it's a good shout. We'll talk about it a little more. And then there was the online objectives, which I believe you needed to win 18 weekend league matches. Obviously that will be changed this year because there's not as many games as there was last year. But then there was a live foot friendly, so you had to go and play in those friendly modes. And you just needed 7 first owned players through a couple of different leagues. It was actually really easy to do because last year we played golden goal. Everybody would quit after 1-0. So whoever scored the first goal, the other person would quit. I'd imagine that's going to be kind of the same thing. We also ended up seeing one nation where we needed English players or only Brazilians. So it is interesting because you guys can knock out a lot of these at the same time. Obviously, we don't know what the objectives are, but they're important because you guys can make some pretty big investments, and they usually do end up paying out. Now, of course, the rewards were here, and you know they were kind of just meh. I wasn't a big fan of them. I thought the icon packs were really the best way to go. You know, either taking the 89 plus mid pack or even the base icon player pick. But you guys could see there's a good mix between players and some packs. Unfortunately, last year we saw the first time of this set of rewards. In FIFA 20, we actually just got about 20 icons that were selected to be kind of our choices. So let's kind of talk about the market here, and before I even head over to Footbin, I kind of want to mention some of these icon cards. You do have to be careful. If an icon is selected into icon swaps, you will see that card just fall in price. And last year we saw this kind of thing happen, especially for the icons that were included in the first set of rewards. Now you saw a little panic on Thierry Henry, but then people realized like you can't even get them until a month later. Whereas someone like Vidic you could get on the first day through that icon swap. You'll see in FIFA 21 his card completely kind of crashed down for that weekend in Friday, December 11th. So if you take a look here, you can see right about at this point, once it was found out he was in icon swaps, he goes from 460k all the way down to 375 by the end of that last weekend. So that is a significant drop for an icon like that, and just because anybody can get him, it really doesn't take much to complete those objectives, and he was very, very cheap. So expect some of those lower tier icons to kind of take a hit, and Haji was the same way. We saw that his mid card, which was the one that got included, also took a big hit, and so did the base, obviously, because the mid was falling, the base was always going to fall too. And again, this is just something that might happen this year as well, so it is kind of important to be careful because you don't want to be holding icons and all icons as well, because we are going to be seeing prime icons be released as well. So as you can see here, the same story with Haji here, goes from 560 all the way down to like 450. So pretty significant drops on a lot of these kind of cards that get included in. Now, yeah, guys, let's talk about the big thing, because obviously once you hit that point, most icons don't see any panic as far as icon swaps goes. Obviously, the big thing coming into the game during this kind of icon swaps is going to be the introduction of prime icons. Obviously, that's pretty significant because what we see happen is the base cards end up going out of packs. The mid cards and the primes will be the ones that are in packs. Now, primes always start off very expensive, but what you'll see is a very, very common trend that kind of happens every year, and that is that when the prime icons come out, you see base icons actually start to do well because they do end up leaving packs. So base icons, I'm not really worried about. The top tiers, the mid tiers, the low tiers, they're already at a very low price anyways, but I do expect some of the base icons to kind of rebound just over time as their supply kind of gets drained. Now here's where you have to be careful, of course, because we obviously will be getting base icon packs in swaps and stuff, so there is still a little bit of supply that could come in. And you'll see on Ronaldinho's graph from last year that this period where people were able to start getting base packs, the cards did come back down. But for the December period, you will see that some of these base cards end up kind of going back up once they do leave packs. I mean, Ronaldinho right before was about 1.284, and by another point he was like 135. So I mean, not significant rises and drops, but still very decent. Whereas we take a look at the mid card during this kind of time, you'll see the mid card actually does really bad. And the mid card, this is kind of the trend for every single mid card in the game. And it's just because primes come out, it's a better version, and it kind of replaces that price point. So guys, if you're holding any mid icons, I would be really, really cautious, because let's take a look. The entire month, Ronaldinho mid, he ended up dropping close to like 300-400k. That's huge. It's like, it's really, really big. Now I do want to take a look at one card, and we'll just take a look at the best icon card. Obviously Eusebio Cruyff will move very similar to the way he did, but in FIFA 21 he was an interesting one, because obviously this is the best card in the game for that time period until primes are the ones that come out and his prime version becomes the best. But you will see when primes do come out in FIFA 21, you do see a little bit of a dip on the mid card, and it's kind of slowly over time, and this is what's going to happen heading into Team of the Year. You won't see a big drop on these cards, on these top tier cards until Team of the Year. But I mean, Ronaldo here, he goes from 7.5 on Xbox down to 6.3 by the time December's over. So it's just a constant decline for these mid cards in this month. I would be very, 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 very careful when you guys are kind of using these cards. Now the base card for someone like Ronaldo, obviously he's a very good card. He was sat at around 2 mil during this time. Look at his card. Just like Ronaldinho, he actually does very well when he does leave packs, and he held his price point very, very well, at least for December. So I kind of expect to see this trend continue. We saw it happen in FIFA 20 as well. Now gold cards, guys, you're going to get hurt on them. They're going to fall. I'm not even going to bother looking at the graph because we've already looked at it multiple times in the past. Gold cards have a horrible month, and freeze, icons, everything that's going to be coming out, you're just going to see those cards kind of push further. And I wouldn't be surprised if EA try and do something with the heroes as well during this kind of promo time too. I would just be very, very cautious if you guys are holding any gold cards or even some of the top tier like special cards, because everybody is going to be getting involved in the icon promo, which means everybody is likely going to get a hold of an icon, which is just a player who can replace one of their meta cards. There are very select few special cards right now that are better than the icons. So definitely be very, very careful heading in. And if you guys are trading icons, guys, try to stay away from the mids unless you're getting these big flips. It's going to be very, very tough for you guys to make coins on the mid cards when they're constantly in a decline. Now, Spicy, what about the prime icons? Don't touch them, guys. They're always super, super expensive. Give it about a week until those prices come back to normal. Then you guys can start kind of looking to make a bit of profit on them or trying to pick them up for your teams. But at the start, it's just really not worth it. Icons are going to be ridiculously expensive. And not to mention the big cards like R9 and stuff, Cruyff, Eusebio, those cards are going to be extinct for a little bit just because it's the prime version of them, and we're not going to be getting prime moments till the middle of February. So those are the best versions of the cards we're going to see in a very popular time in this January Christmas Team of the Year period. So for me, I'm waiting to touch those primes until probably much later down the road. Even for trading, picking up for teams, whatever it might be, guys, don't bother doing it because you'll probably end up losing a lot of coins. But yeah, guys, that's all you really need to know heading into this prime icons, icon swaps, foot freeze period. If you guys didn't see my foot freeze video yesterday, I definitely recommend checking out so you guys know everything you need to know for the freeze promo itself. And until tomorrow, guys, I'll see ya. Peace.